Now we have our final table with our total results. We can go ahead and do exactly what we did before for lab 3 and get the different two portfolios we wanted from before. Now, just like lab 3, I have my total score here, and the total score replaces the ratio from lab 3, and I'm going to sort on this, right? I'm going to sort on this. Now, before, I think we were using the highest intraday return as our ratio for lab 3. Now what I want to do is I want to use the total that has the lowest PROBM total. See, this total will be the lowest PROBM total. I want to make the order in ascending order. The four lowest tickers will be portfolio 1, and the four highest tickers will be portfolio 2. So just like before, I'm going to create another data frame, but I'm just going to order by the total column. All right, remember to have the comma afterwards. When you're selecting a column within a data frame, you must have, when you're doing an order, you should put that column in. So if I run this line, right now I have to look at DF2 down here. It's the same table, guys, but as you can see, by the tickers and by the total score, it's now in ascending order. All right, these four up here will become my portfolio 1. These four down here will become my portfolio 2. Interesting to note, Apple has a higher total score, right? Interesting to note. Now, how do I go about doing that? Just like last time. Just like last time, guys. So here, I'm going to have the group. I'm going to add the group column. So we'll do group. Right, equals, just like we added the total column in line 112, now into this data frame, we're going to add a column called group. In that column, the first four values need to be 1. The last four values need to be 2. Very straightforward. We'll just create a vector. I can do either do it manually, right, or I can use the rep function. Rep 1 4 times, comma, rep 2 4 times. I run that. Now I have to look at the DF2 now. You will see I now have this group column I just added. The first four will be 1, obviously the ones that with the lowest total score, and the four with the highest scores will be 2. All right, after that, now, here if anything gets a little tricky, it would be this part right here. BT is my back-tested returns individually for each stock. Now, if I want to have the portfolio for group 1, all the stocks in group 1, how do I do that? Well, because it's equally weighted, just like lab 3, I just simply need to take a mean of this, 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 and this for group 1, portfolio 1, and this, this, and this for portfolio 2. All right, so just like last time, there's multiple ways to do it. You can just simply call those values that you want to work with. So if I want to do portfolio 1 is going to simply be df2 head df2. Remember, the head function gets you the top rows, where the tail function gets you the bottom rows. In this case, I want the top rows for one particular column, the BT column. If I simply do head df, if I just run this part right here, you can see what the values will be, just this part right here. You'll see that it'll give me the 4 top BT returns in the BT column, right? I simply want to run the mean on this. So now this, I'll pass in the mean function, which will give me those 4 values. I run it, and now port 1 down here, you'll see it gives me the values I want. All right. Okay, and I do the same thing for port 2, just copy and paste it. But instead of the head, the top 4, or the head, I want the bottom 4, or the tail, right? And that will obviously give me the last 4 rows down here, the returns for the last 4 rows down here, right? Kick that off. And if you look at the port 2 value now, boom, all right? Okay, so I have my two values. And again, I want to add this in a column called port return, right? I'll just make it one word. And now I simply do port return equals, and again, we could use the C function with the rep function to make a vector of 8 numbers. I want to repeat port 1 4 times, and I want to repeat port 2 4 times as well. I run that. Let's check out df2 again down here. Boom. Look at that. Okay. And after that, we're pretty much done. I mean, we have to change the name of the columns. Let's rechange the name of the column so that it's exactly the way our automatic grading system needs it. A lot of you guys get mad at Galib. Galib's not grading this stuff. We have an automatic system that does it, right? That's why if something's slightly wrong, you automatically get a 0. So which I can always fix after the fact. But let me change the name to exactly what we want. Before I do that, I just want you to compare the results. Now, the PROBM scores, the portfolios with the low PROBM scores, you can see had a lower portfolio return. In other words, the stocks that had a higher PROBM score gave you better returns in that period. Well, there could be a number of reasons for that. Number one is we are running this data on just 8 stocks. Okay, when we actually want to do this analysis, we want to run it on all 6,000 or 7,000 stocks. That's when we're really going to get some really cool results. Also, we technically don't use PROBM ratio, the PROBM indices or any of those indices in this day and age, anything from group 1 as a means to calculate, to construct a portfolio. What we use them for actually is the PROBM indexes and anything equivalent to those kind of indexes is to basically screen out stocks that are potential earnings manipulators, right? So we technically don't use it for this purpose, even though we are doing it just for practice and testing purposes for our future labs. You'll see later on when we actually get our massive data set, we're going to use it to actually filter through the stocks and take a subset of the original stocks, out of like whatever 6,000 stocks, and then go apply different ratios to it and do different other kind of backtesting to it. Okay, so in terms of the code, let's rename the column. Name's df2, and it's supposed to be ticker DSRI GPMI AQI SGI DEPI SGAI LVGI TATA and return for the individual stock returns. I believe I made this not all lowercase, uppercase. That's pretty annoying. Group is still group. And port return was port return. I actually had it as 2 words, but 1 word is fine. Right, I run this. Oops, I ran the whole code. We'll just wait through it. Okay. And as you can see, my final data frame has the different portfolios. This is portfolio group return. I accidentally overwrote my 2 results here. Let me do that again. So this is total. My group was just accidentally overwritten. Do that here. I think I have an extra. column in here. And let's see, turn. Let's see what the df column table is. Okay, that looks good. The df2, let me run this line again. df2, and that looks good. We run port return right here. That looks good, that looks good, and that looks good, and that looks good. Okay, I don't know what really happened. When I run it by one, everything is what I want, except for group. Group, for some reason, this is my individual return, my data, my group. It gets overwritten for some strange reason. All right. Oh, it's my total, that's why, I'm sorry. Let me do this again. I'm missing my total score. Aha, that was the problem. So if I do here, what happened was I was renaming the columns and I skipped one value. So again, let me do this. Right. And now I should have all my columns. Ta-da, they're all there now. I was leaving out a column when I was doing the renaming, and for some reason it let me do it, which is problematic. But I caught it, it worked. This is the final solution. This is essentially what you should have. And this will set you up now for, I'm going to skip showing you the results for lab 5, because lab 5 we just add 2 more ratios. And the next solution I'll show you is for lab 6, where we actually start getting into the group 2 ratios, the ratios that I love and that are more exciting, right? Because there you're trying to actually, Warren Buffett and Munger say, you're actually looking for wonderful businesses, right? And we talked about what wonderful businesses are in class. All right, guys, this is your lab 4. Check it out. Go through it. If you have any questions, either leave a comment, talk to me in class, or email me. And again, leave any comment you want, as long as it's not trolling, unless it's funny. And this is the part most of you guys fail at. Funny. All right? I'll see you guys later. I'll see everybody in class.